14. Let go of what you can't control. There are two types of suffering in life. The pain that comes from real is loss, heartbreak, failure, and the pain that comes from trying to control things that are not in your hands. And the second kind, it's more common, more exhausting, more mentally destructive. One of the greatest keys to emotional peace is learning this powerful truth. I cannot control everything, and I don't need to. The illusion of control. Your brain is wired to seek control. It wants predictability and safety. That's natural. But the problem starts when you begin to believe that your happiness, peace, or worth depends on things you can't control. Other people's opinions, the past, the future outcomes, timing, weather, traffic, global events, how someone treats you, whether things go as planned. When you tie your inner state to these things, you become a slave to external circumstances. You hand your emotional power to forces outside of you. Why we struggle to let go. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care. It means you stop trying to force what isn't yours to carry. We hold on because we fear uncertainty. We crave perfection. We believe letting go equals failure. We think worrying somehow protects us. But in reality, trying to control the uncontrollable increases anxiety, triggers anger and frustration, creates tension in relationships, prevents emotional flow, blocks clarity, and You cannot fully live in the present if you're trying to micromanage the universe. Control what you can, release what you can't. Peace doesn't come from controlling everything. It comes from focusing on what is actually in your hands. Your thoughts, your reactions, your choices, your attitude, your boundaries, your habits, your energy, your integrity. Let everything else flow. How to practice letting go. Notice when you're gripping. Pay attention to tension in your body and obsessiveness in your thoughts. Ask, am I holding on to something I cannot change? If yes, breathe. It's a sign to release. Shift from outcome to intention. Instead of obsessing over how something happens, focus on the energy you bring to it. Ask, am I acting from fear or from trust? Use the circle of control. Exercise. Draw 2 circles. In the inner circle, write what you can control. In the outer circle, write what you cannot. Let your attention return to the inner circle daily. That's where your peace lives. Replace control with trust. Control says, I must make everything work out. Trust says, I'll give my best and let life handle the rest. One is anxious, one is empowered. Use grounding affirmations. I let go of what no longer serves me. I release the need to control outcomes. I trust life to unfold in divine timing. I control how I show up, not what happens. Letting go does not equal giving up. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care. It means you've learned the wisdom of surrender. You stop trying to force, fix, or chase. You begin to flow with life instead of fighting it. And when you do that, your mind becomes clearer, your heart becomes lighter, your energy returns. Your emotions stabilize, your power grows. Because now, you're no longer drained by battles that were never yours to win. Final thought. You're not weak for letting go. You're not lazy for surrendering what's outside your control. You're not careless for choosing peace over panic. You are wise. You are grounded. You are powerful because you now know where your energy belongs. Let go of the storm. Return to your center. Focus on the only thing that's ever truly yours. Your response. Your effort. Your presence. That's where peace begins. And that's how you finally become free. Asterisk 15. Make stillness a daily practice. We live in a world that glorifies busyness, more hustle, more doing, more distractions, more noise. From the moment we wake up, we're bombarded by notifications, to-do lists, conversations, and content. But in the middle of all this noise, there's something sacred we've forgotten. How to access stillness. Not silence, not laziness, not boredom, but stillness. A state of inner calm, presence, and awareness where your mind is quiet, and your soul finally speaks. Why stillness matters. Your mind is like water. When it's agitated, you can't see clearly. But when it becomes still, everything becomes visible. Stillness is not the absence of activity. It's the space between activity, where clarity, healing, and peace are found. In stillness, you reconnect with your breath, your truth, your emotions, your intuition, your core self. This is where emotional mastery begins, because you can't control your mind if you're constantly drowning in it. The mental benefits of stillness. Regular stillness practice has been proven to lower cortisol, stress hormone, increase emotional regulation, boost focus and clarity, calm the nervous system, improve decision-making, reduce impulsive behavior, help process suppressed emotions. When you create space for stillness, you no longer live in reaction mode. You live in response mode where you choose instead of react. Why most people avoid stillness. Stillness can feel uncomfortable at first because we're not used to sitting with ourselves. We've used busyness to avoid facing our inner chaos, our buried pain, our truth, our loneliness, our fears. But here's the paradox. What you're running from can only be healed in stillness. Until you learn to sit with yourself, you'll never truly know yourself. And if you don't know yourself, you'll always be controlled by your emotions. How to practice stillness daily. Start small, 2 to 5 minutes. You don't need to meditate for an hour. Begin with just a few minutes of intentional silence. No phone, no talking, no movement. Just breathe and be. Focus on the breath. Use your breath as an anchor. Inhale slowly. Exhale fully. Each breath brings you back to the present moment. Observe without judgment. Thoughts will come. Feelings will rise. That's okay. Don't fight them. Just notice, accept, and return to stillness. Use nature as a stillness portal. Take a silent walk. Watch the sunset. Listen to rain. Let nature pull you into the moment. It's one of the best teachers of stillness. Create a daily stillness ritual. Same time, same space. Every day. This creates rhythm and routine, so your mind begins to expect peace. Morning stillness sets the tone. Evening stillness brings closure. Both can change your life. Stillness versus isolation. Let's be clear. Stillness is not about running away from the world. It's about returning to yourself so you can re-enter the world with strength and clarity. Stillness is not weakness. Stillness is power. It's what gives you the emotional bandwidth to respond calmly when others are losing control. The most powerful people you'll ever meet are deeply still inside. Final thought. We are not meant to be human doings all the time. We are human beings, and being requires presence. Presence requires stillness. In stillness, your mind gets quiet, enough to hear what truly matters. Your ego softens. Your emotions regulate. Your inner compass realigness. So stop, breathe, sit in the silence. Let the world spin without you for a moment, because the answers you're chasing, the peace you crave, the clarity you need, it's not out there, it's in here, and you'll only find it in stillness. Asterisk. 12. Root yourself in core beliefs. Life is unpredictable. People will disappoint you. Plans will fail. Emotions will rise and fall. You'll face criticism, rejection, chaos, and confusion. But in the middle of that storm, there's one thing that can anchor you. Your core beliefs. They are the deep truths you live by, the values that define your identity, guide your decisions, and ground your emotions when everything else is shaking. Without core beliefs, your mind becomes fragile, become a mirror of the world around you, changing constantly based on moods, opinions, outcomes, and approval. But when you're rooted in strong inner beliefs, you become centered, resilient, and self-led. What are core beliefs? Core beliefs are the non-negotiable truths you choose to build your life around. They shape how you view yourself, how you see the world, how you respond to difficulty, what you stand for, what you will and will not tolerate. Examples of empowering core beliefs. I am worthy. Even when I feel insecure, I am responsible for my inner state. Growth is more important than perfection. Everything is happening for my evolution. My peace is not dependent on other people's behavior. I can feel fear and still take action. These are not just thoughts. They're pillars of identity. They hold you up when everything else crumbles. Why you need core beliefs in a chaotic world. In times of stress, your brain will look for something familiar and safe to return to. If you haven't defined that, your mind will fall into default patterns: fear, doubt, emotional reactivity, people-pleasing, self-sabotage. But when you've chosen clear core beliefs, you give your mind a stable foundation to return to even in emotional storms. Example: if someone rejects you and your default belief is, I'm not good enough, you'll spiral. But if your rooted belief is, I am enough, even when others don't see it, you stay grounded. Your beliefs don't change your circumstances, but they radically shift your experience of them. How to identify and strengthen your core beliefs. Reflect on what truly matters to you. Ask yourself, who do I want to be, no matter what happens around me? What values do I want to live by in every season of life? What principles give me strength when I feel lost? Write your personal truths. Start writing beliefs that feel empowering, grounding, and true to your soul. Examples: I can handle more than I think. Peace is my responsibility. I release what I cannot control. I trust the timing of my life. I am guided, even when I don't have clarity yet. Repeat them with intention. Repetition reprograms the subconscious. Say your beliefs out loud every morning. Write them in your journal. Use them as mantras when emotions rise. Live them in small choices. Beliefs are not just mental. They become real when you live them. If you believe in calmness, practice pausing before reacting. If you believe in worthiness, stop chasing validation. Small choices reinforce your identity. When the storm hits, return to the root. There will be moments when nothing makes sense. People betray you. Plans collapse. Your emotions scream. In those moments, return to your roots. Say to yourself, even if I don't know what's next, I know who I am. Even if they don't believe in me, I believe in me. Even if I feel anxious, I trust my path. This is emotional leadership. This is how you rise above the noise. Final thought. Your power lies not in controlling life, but in anchoring yourself to the truths that keep you steady when life is out of control. You are not just a body reacting to the world. You are a soul with roots. And the deeper those roots grow in truth, love, discipline, and wisdom, the taller you can stand through every season. Root yourself in who you are. Live from what you believe. And let the world adjust to the strength of your center. Asterisk 13. Discipline greater than motivation. We live in a world obsessed with motivation. We look for it in YouTube videos, morning routines, motivational quotes, and external inspiration. And yes, motivation feels good. It's powerful. For a moment. But the truth is, motivation is temporary. It comes and goes like a wave. It depends on emotion, mood, environment, even the weather. But when life hits hard, when your body is tired, your mind is foggy, and your heart is overwhelmed, motivation disappears. Discipline remains. That's why the truly successful, peaceful, grounded people you admire, they don't rely on motivation. They've built a life on discipline. What's the difference? Motivation dishy linbase, structure iki actin tone to untriven, habit revenesks. Do I feel like it? Asks. Is this aligned with who I am? Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going. Motivation is the match. Discipline is the firewood. If you want to build a strong, emotionally stable, powerful life, you must learn to choose action, regardless of emotion. The psychology of discipline is not about punishment. It's not about rigid control, or forcing yourself to suffer. Discipline is self-respect in action. It means honoring your future self more than your current impulses. It means choosing alignment over instant gratification. Your brain is wired for comfort. It loves the path of least resistance. So unless you train yourself to act beyond emotion, you'll always be ruled by it. Discipline rewires your brain to prioritize what matters over what's easy. How discipline builds emotional power. It builds self-trust every time you follow through on a promise to yourself. Whether you feel like it or not, you build integrity. And integrity creates confidence. You stop doubting yourself because you've proven that you show up, even on bad days. It creates stability in chaos. Discipline is routine. Routines create predictability. Predictability calms the nervous system. Even when the world is chaotic, your habits give you something solid to hold on to. It regulates emotion naturally. When you meditate, journal, work out, eat clean, or sleep well consistently, not just when motivated, you build emotional stability from the inside out. It frees you from decision fatigue. Discipline creates structure. Structure removes thousands of tiny emotional decisions like, should I go to the gym today? Should I eat that again? Should I scroll or sleep? The disciplined life says, we already decided. We do the right thing, regardless of mood. How to build real discipline. Start small. Stay consistent. Don't wait for perfect motivation. Choose one thing: waking up early, working out, journaling, drinking water, and do it daily, even for 5 minutes. It's not the size. It's the consistency. Anchor to identity, not outcome. Don't say, I want to lose 10 pounds. Say, I'm the kind of person who moves daily because I love my body. Discipline sticks when it's about who you are, not just what you want. Use triggers and systems. Habit stack. Link your new disciplined action to something automatic. Example: after brushing my teeth, I journal for 2 minutes. Make it easy, visible, and rewarding. Forgive, but don't excuse you'll slip. You'll have off days. Forgive yourself, but don't normalize quitting. Discipline doesn't mean perfection. It means coming back to center over and over again. Final thought. Motivation is a mood. Discipline is a decision. Motivation asks how you feel. Discipline asks what you value. Motivation fades in the storm. Discipline builds a shelter. The strongest, most emotionally resilient people don't always feel inspired, but they always show up, because they know temporary feelings should never decide your permanent future. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you're becoming. So next time you say, "I don't feel like it," answer with this: "That doesn't matter. I do it anyway." That's how warriors are made. That's how legacies are built. That's how peace is earned. 8. Visualize your higher self inside of you. There are two versions of yourself. The reactive self, driven by fear, doubt, ego, and survival instincts. The higher self, calm, conscious, wise, and aligned with your values. Most people live their lives ruled by the reactive self, not because they want to, but because they've never connected deeply with their higher self. But here's the truth. You already have everything you need to be who you're meant to be. You just need to remember it. And one of the most powerful tools to activate that memory is visualization. The science behind visualization: your brain cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you visualize something with emotion and repetition, your brain starts to build new neural pathways that match that vision. This is called neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to rewire itself based on what you mentally rehearse. Athletes use visualization. Before high-stakes games, leaders visualize speaking calmly under pressure. Healers visualize their recovery. And you can visualize becoming the strongest, calmest, highest version of yourself. Who is your higher self? Your higher self is not a fantasy. It's the version of you that already exists, buried under fear, trauma, habits, and limiting beliefs. It's the you that responds instead of reacts, forgives instead of holding grudges, speaks with love instead of defensiveness, moves with intention instead of impulse, lives with purpose instead of pressure. Visualizing your higher self means connecting to this part of you on a daily basis, so you can live from it, not just imagine it. How to visualize your higher self: find stillness, close your eyes, sit in silence, breathe deeply, let go of distractions. This is not a rushed practice. It's a sacred one. See them clearly. Imagine the highest version of yourself. How do they walk? How do they breathe? How do they speak when they're challenged? What choices do they make when life gets hard? What thoughts fill their mind on a daily basis? Visualize their posture, tone, energy, routines, and habits. Make it real, make it vivid, make it emotional. Step into their energy now. Imagine yourself stepping into their shoes. Feel what they feel. Think how they think. Say in your mind, "I am this version now." Let that energy sink into your body. Carry it with you throughout your day. Revisit. Daily repetition is what turns visualization into transformation. The more you visualize, the more you believe. The more you believe, the more you become. Do this every morning, even if just for 5 minutes. What to ask your higher self. You can also use your higher self as a guide whenever you're unsure or emotionally overwhelmed. Ask, what would my higher self do in this situation? How would my higher self respond to this conflict? What would they let go of right now? What would they say to the younger version of me who feels afraid? This inner dialogue can shift your emotional state instantly. Higher self versus ego. Sometimes it helps to understand your higher self by comparing it to your egoic mind. Ego, lower self. Higher self reacts from fear, responds from awareness, needs to be right, chooses peace, doubts, constantly trusts the process, seeks value with quiet confidence, feels separate, feels connected to all. The goal is not to destroy the ego, it's to let the higher self lead. Final thought: you are not here to become someone else. You are here to remember who you truly are. The higher self isn't a fantasy, it's the most authentic version of you. And when you see it clearly, feel it deeply, and choose it daily, your life begins to align with it. Don't just hope for transformation. Visualize it, embody it, live it. Because when you see your best self in your mind's eye long enough, you start becoming it in real life. 9. Gratitude transforms focus. There is a powerful truth hidden in plain sight. What you focus on expands. Your mind is like a lens. Whatever you aim it at, you magnify. And in today's fast-paced, high-stress world, it's far too easy to focus on everything that's going wrong. What's missing? What hurts? What's unfair? And when your attention lives in that place for too long, it begins to shape your identity, your emotions, and your energy. But there's a simple, profound shift that changes your entire mental and emotional state. Gratitude. Why gratitude works? Gratitude isn't just a nice idea or spiritual fluff. It's one of the most scientifically studied, emotionally stabilizing tools available to you. Psychological studies have shown that regular gratitude practice reduces depression and anxiety, lowers stress and cortisol levels, increases dopamine and serotonin, your brain's feel-good chemicals, improves sleep, relationships, and emotional resilience. But more than all of that, gratitude trains your mind to look for what's right instead of obsessing over what's wrong. When you shift your focus to what you already have, instead of what you lack, you move from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. And that shift changes everything. Your brain is a filter every day. Your brain processes billions of bits of information. But it doesn't show you everything. It filters the world based on what it thinks matters to you. This is called the reticular activating system RAS, a part of your brainstem that acts like a mental spotlight. If you constantly focus on pain, problems, and fear, your RAS filters the world to confirm that reality. You become emotionally blind to what's good, working, or healing. But if you train your brain to focus on gratitude, your RAS starts pointing out beauty, blessings, synchronicities even. In chaos, you don't just feel better, you start seeing better. Shift from what's wrong to what's right. Every time you catch your mind spiraling, feeling anxious, angry, or overwhelmed, ask yourself, what can I be thankful for right now? What's one thing I'm glad I still have? What challenge is teaching me something important? This doesn't mean denying your pain. It means balancing your perspective. Gratitude doesn't erase struggle. It gives you strength to face it with a clear and grounded mind. How to practice gratitude effectively. Daily gratitude journal every morning or evening. Write down 3 to 5 things you're grateful for. Not just big things. Notice the small, often ignored blessings. Warm sunlight, a conversation, clean water, breath in your lungs. Consistency builds mental resilience. Gratitude in real time. When you catch yourself complaining, pause. Flip the script. Yes, this is frustrating, but I'm grateful I have the strength to handle it. This retrains your focus in the moment. Gratitude walks. Go for a walk without distractions. As you move, mentally list things you're thankful for. Let nature, movement, and mindfulness merge with appreciation. Gratitude before sleep. Before you close your eyes, reflect on one beautiful moment from your day. Sleep on gratitude, and you'll wake up lighter. The deeper power of gratitude. Gratitude is not passive, it's a conscious act of emotional leadership. It tells your mind, we're not going to drown in lack today. We're going to rise in appreciation. It shifts your nervous system from stress to peace, from survival mode to abundance mode, and perhaps most powerfully, gratitude pulls you out of your head and into your heart. It softens you, grounds you, reminds you that no matter what's going on, you still have something. And that something is a seed. And seeds, when appreciated, grow. Final thought. You can't always control your circumstances. You can't control what others do, or what life throws at you. But you can choose your focus. And if you focus on gratitude, even in your darkest days, you will find strength you forgot you had. You will feel emotions you thought were lost. And you will rise not because life got easier, but because your perspective got stronger. Gratitude doesn't change the world. It changes how you walk through it. Asterisk.